So let me start this video off with an announcement to my viewers. Somebody on YouTube has suddenly made it their personal mission to go through and click dislike on every one of my videos. And I can tell that they didn't even watch them because they clicked them all within just a matter of a minute or so. And usually they click dislike as soon as it's posted. So I'm really sorry that person has such a miserable life that that's all they can do is downplay other artists. I just don't even know what to say about them. But anyway, I hope you guys will click like and subscribe, and I'm just going to keep cranking videos out. So today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We might do another painting here in a little while, but in this particular instance, I have this painting that I did, when did I do this thing? In 2017, so it was 3 years ago. And I was discussing with Little Painter Girl the other day. I've got several paintings like this that I kind of like the painting, but there's some things I would do much differently. So today, what I'm going to do is show you how to modify a painting, or at least we might mess it up. If we do, I don't know if you'll ever see this video, but but let's just kind of go through here, and I'll talk you guys through it. And the things that I don't particularly care for in the painting. First of all, this mountain range, I wanted it to be nice and jagged, but I don't know, it just doesn't come across the way that I want it to. So I want to enhance this mountain range. I probably thinking about maybe trimming off some of these peaks. I also want to add some more shadows in this area, in different areas, to make the mountains uneven, like pushing back and coming forward and pushing back and coming forward. I'm okay with this mist, although I'd like it to be a little more white than it is, a little lighter. But we'll see. And then this tree line's okay. I mean, I'm not. There's nothing there, but I'm sure that if I'm going to work on this mist, I'm going to have to work on this tree line. And then between the tree line and this grassy area, I think there needs to be another line of mist in here. This tree, the trunks are okay, but first of all, the moon is up here, and there's no highlight in this tree at all. So, and while that yellow and orange combination is okay, I just think generally the painting itself could be re-highlighted. The cabin here, it's okay. It's little. It's supposed to be a little cabin, but I think it could be enhanced by lightening this portion of the cabin up, and this side maybe darken it, and then instead of the lights being off, put the lights on with like some candle flame. Maybe add a chimney, maybe some smoke drifting off. I could make the cabin bigger. We'll see when we get that far, see how we want to go. These water lines are okay. They could be a little more crisp. There's a lot of tooth in this canvas. Let me give you an idea. Let's see if I can do it with a knife. So you can hear how rough this canvas is. And part of that is that it's a very tight canvas. So it's got a really nice ground underneath of it. So, and then, we could do something up here. I want to maybe make this tree just a tad bit taller. And I kind of like that highlight, but I guess it depends what goes on back here. Also, the moon needs to have a reflection in some direction, whether it comes straight across the pond, which maybe it will, or we could have it come out like this way. But if we did that, I don't know. I don't think I would like to do that. Also, the cabin needs a little bit more highlight on it across the roof line, wherever the smoke goes. And then, there's some things to be done up here in the foreground. The water comes in right here, but we could actually build this ground across and make like a waterfall, maybe a little bit. I don't know. But anyway, so let's fool with it and see what we get. As you can see, I don't have trouble critiquing my own work. I'm a writer by trade since what, 1980. So I've written like 13, 14 books. Well, the 14th book's about to come out. The 15th book right behind that. So there's nothing that I just don't take criticism personally at all. But it just, when it's actual criticism. When somebody's just going through clicking dislike, I guess I do care about that. All right, now we're not gonna paint on this whole canvas, but we're gonna go ahead and oil the whole canvas down with this liquid clear. This is some homemade liquid clear. Make this myself. Now this is a very lean medium, so it's gonna dry pretty quick. And this painting's really dry too, so it's had time to set after 3 years. So I like the general theme of this. There's just some things that I've learned along the way that make me want to do something a little bit more with it. Now, usually in the past, what I've done is just take things like this and cut them up, strike out new canvas, and paint something new. And there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, I've learned a lot doing things that way. But I don't know. I just thought I'd like to try this. And if we mess it up, who cares? Nobody bought it, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just checking to make sure I didn't miss any spots. I don't think I did. But see, like up here, it's already soaked in a good bit. That's okay. We're not going to be doing too much with this guy. But, so you might wonder, why are we going to, if we're not going to paint on the whole canvas, why are we bothering to oil down the whole canvas? It's a good question. And the reason for that is because this liquid clear is going to would make the rest of the canvas shiny where I touched it, and then the rest of it would be kind of flat when it dried. So I just want the same number of layers of paint on each layer that we have. So, all right, now we're going to go through and just lightly wipe this off. Now where it's going to get tricky, I think, where it's going to get tricky, is there's a lot of texture in this mountain. So listen, if you listen, you can hear it. It's because there's all these different layers of paint. So we'll work with that, hopefully, and see how it goes. All right, let's get going. So let's start off. Let's start off with a little bit of color change. And I think we'll start off with some Van Dyke Brown, just to start this off. And some Mountain Mixture as well. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by squaring this ridge away. First of all, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So now the question becomes, this was originally done with a fan brush, I'm pretty sure. But let's don't do that. Let's use a filbert. Okay, so I'm just going to mix this paint on the brush. Some Mountain Mixture and a little bit more brown. And let's just kind of start closing these mountains up a little bit. Now, I don't care that one of them's taller than the other. I kind of like that part. But we're just going to kind of square some of this away. And then maybe we might even put some trees on the top of it. Who knows? So already you can begin to see the top of the mountains changing some. I think I might leave this peak alone. And I'll tell you what, it kind of juts up there. I like the way that it juts up there, but Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and paint it over. We can do some other things with that when we get over there. All right. So now, we didn't completely, like square off the top, but we kind of flattened it in different places somewhat. Now, the next step of this is going to be before we start working on the rest of it, is to fix the stars. Because there's some stars on there, but every place that I just painted, there's no stars showing through. And it may or may not be noticed by, the casual observer. But I would know it was wrong, so let's fix it. So I get some liquid white, because I just don't have enough paint on my hands today. I always get liquid white all over me. I just can't help myself. All right, let's get a fan brush. It doesn't really matter which size, I don't think. And let's just kind of stir this up a little bit. I'm sure it's been sitting in a can. Okay, it looks pretty good. Now, we're going to get some of this on the mountain, and that's okay. We're going to hold it up close. Okay. Had a big chunk of it come off. That really wasn't anything I was looking for. That's okay. We'll fix it as we go. Put a few more stars up here like this, just to add some texture. All right. Okay, so I had a piece of paint come off the brush. So we got a happy little accident up there. Let's work on it. Just let that sit there for a second. I'm going to wipe my finger off. Made a bad mistake and left my baby wipes open, so they're a little dry. Let's just see if this will work. Yeah, it works. Let's reactivate it a little bit. All right, let's set that there for now. All right. Okay, so we got this blob of paint right there. So let's just take some brown and some of this, and let's just kind of that's good. I think that'll be all right. Okay, now so let's kind of decide. There's kind of I want that part to be kind of darker, and this part here. And by putting these dark areas in, we're going to create some depth in these mountains. We're going to back up in certain spots. Let's see. Maybe some shadows. I don't want to space these two evenly, because so we'll kind of do that. And we'll enhance these shadows all the way down. Kind of like that. All right. Well, I never did finish cleaning this other brush. All right, we'll do that here in a second. All right, so we may come back and do a little bit more with that. Matter of fact, I see a spot already. I have to clean the brush again now. I think like this part right here. And then we'll bring that kind of shadowy stuff down. Like that. maybe some of that in here. Because the moon's behind it, right? So we'll have some shadow in here. And that'll also set off against the mist when we start working on it here in a minute. No, I could put a bit right here. A little too bright right there anyway. Alright. I don't usually start with the shadows, but it'll work. Okay, now I want to... This blue and gray is okay. It doesn't really float my boat though, so it's a little too much blue in the background with too much green. Well, the green's okay, but it'll look better when it's highlighted, I guess. But let's fiddle with this some more. All right, let's take and put that away for the moment. See what I mean? I can't touch the can without getting paint on me. All right. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Let's just, since we've got texture there already, let's use a knife for this. What do I do with my small knife? I'm sure it's back there somewhere. Here we go. All right, and let's, first of all, let's just kind of take a little bit of this midnight brown. Let's just kind of, oh, you know what, now that I'm looking at this, I'm thinking of maybe I did put this on with a knife instead of a brush. Could be. So we're just kind of, we're not trying to take all the blue out. The blue might actually turn out to be the highlight before we're done. Let's just kind of fiddle with this a little bit. That gets us started. Looks like a mess now, don't it? Yeah. Who knows? We're practicing anyway. All right, let's get some sienna and bring this tone up a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot. I don't want to get too rambunctious, so let's just try a little bit of it, like. There we go. It looks pretty good. Take some of that white out of there. It's a little too bright for a nighttime scene, I think, maybe. I don't know. We'll decide later. Okay, now let's start working in some highlight. So let's get, we don't want to like jump from sienna to something really lighter, but really lighter. But we will jump up to, I think, there's some yellow ochre. then just kind of bring it up slowly. We'll keep kind of loading paint up on one on top of the other here until we get to where we want it to be. And you know, if all else failed and we decided we didn't like the way the mountain range looked, we can always just take a brush and paint over it. But I was hoping I could save a little bit of what I had in here so that the painting is at least recognizable as something that was before. Something of what it was before. Alright. Let's take... I'll tell you what, before we do that, let's take a 1-inch brush, this one right here. Let's just kind of smooth some of this paint out. And it's going to kind of mix some of these colors together, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I think that's going to give us a better base to work from. Alright, yeah, I think that's going to work better. Okay. I know you're probably thinking, why'd we do all that other? Well, you probably can't see it on the video, but mixing those colors up, it's going to make a difference when we start highlighting it. So now let's do, and we don't want to get too carried away. So we're going to come back, we're going to do the highlight first, I think, and then we'll come back and do a little bit with a little bit different stuff. Just flatten the paint off. When I take the knife to the side, just flattening the paint, reflattening it again, and going back with it. So make another small layer of paint. All right, I'm going to move out of here for a second because I want to kind of make this a little more uneven. Right there. Now you might be wondering, like, well, why did you skip that big area? Because I'm going to try to darken some of that up a little bit later. And we'll mix up some highlights and some darks and a few other things here. I might have to think about that here in a second. All right. Okay, now I'm going to take and add to this just a tad of titanium white, just a little bit, to the yellow ochre. I don't think that white's going to be the highlight color on any of that part. So let's take some titanium white. I started some here. Let's just mix it up and move it. There we go. A little bit of titanium white. We're going to kind of leave that layered. You can see the paint. There's all those different tones in there. We're going to kind of just okay. think I want this part here to be a little bit darker. So, and it is in the nighttime, so I guess we'll put a little bit of midnight black on this, maybe. Oh, the oil's running out. That's going to be a problem. I'm going to have to do something with that. Alright, so we get a lot of oil in this paint. This new Bob Ross paint, or the old Bob Ross paint, toward the end was funky. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work for me. Well, that's okay. I guess that's kind of... We'll just mix it with some of this mountain mixture here, see if we can take some of the... Man, it's really oily for what I'm trying to do. If I was using a brush, it would probably be okay, but... No. That's just... Okay. Now let's come back with a little more of this yellow. Like that. Alright, I'm good with that. Okay, now, I want there to be the semblance of some trees up at the top. But those trees are way out yonder. Way out yonder. So we're gonna... Let's see what we can get with this. Let's see if I can mix some of this titanium with some of this funky black and use that. And we're just going to touch this and pull it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be everywhere, just like that. A few places here and there. Just to add a little bit of a backdrop, a little more of a backdrop. All right, that's pretty good. All right, I think that does it for the mountains. Okay, so that was a nice little rework. Although I think right here, I like this part just to kind of collapse in like this. And then we'll shove a couple of little stars in there. Oh no! Just wipe my brush off on the wrong thing. At least I didn't stick it in my tea. Alright. Let's just get this little fan brush here. I just need a little bit. Like that. Okay, that's good enough. Now, if you're wondering, why do I keep putting my brushes away every time? I've had ADD most all of my life, I guess, all of my adult life and all of my childhood life. And I understand that weakness, so that way I don't leave brushes sitting around that still got paint on them and things like that. Okay, let's deal with mist now. Now, I like these trees. Let me look at that now. Let me kind of look at that. maybe now that I've reworked that mist is kind of okay. All right, so I think we'll leave that be for right now. So let's do this backdrop, this part right here. And we'll do that with a 1-inch brush. And really, I don't know that we need to do much to it other than brighten it just a little bit in a couple of spots. So use some Cad Yellow, Pale Hue, and maybe we'll mix. Oh, you know what? I got this color I mixed yesterday. Let's just use that. Let's see if this will work. It'll probably work. I mixed a big gob of it because I thought I was going to need it, and then it turned out I didn't need it. So, all right. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, I said we were going to put another layer of mist in there. So let's do that. Almost messed up. Almost made the same mistake I made the first time. I don't know if you can call it a mistake, but almost made it like the same problem I had the first time. Okay. I'm not done with that. Just want to get this. I'm going to get a cleaner brush or a dry brush like this one. Now kind of scrub this around, blend it out. That looks okay. All right. Too many cloths up here. Now I end up with paint all over me. All right. Now let's see if we can. It would be interesting to see if I can change the landscape by changing the highlight, and maybe I will. It's going to kind of bring this through this tree to kind of keep it. We're just lightly tapping this in over the top of the existing landscape. All right, now we're going to add just a touch of white. Just a touch of white. Just a touch. We're going to kind of add that right there. All right. And Rob, because we're going to bring this moon down here in a minute, so that'll. May need to add some more than that, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's deal with. We're just still working from the back to the front. So we'll work on. We could work on the cabin, or we could work on this tree over here. So let's do the tree first, because it's actually the most irritating to me. This is actually what almost made me burn this painting. So let's just kind of. I'm sure y'all can't see this, and I'm sorry, but I'm just painting some branches in here. Then I think we'll add another trunk that wasn't here before, like that, and make the tree a little bit wider. All right, we're just doing this with sienna. And of course, these are going to be, a lot of this branch work will be covered up in a minute. Okay, now let's do a little bit of highlighting on that. Maybe I'll just use the same brush now that I think about it. No, maybe I'll use this one. Let's take some sienna and just a little bit of white. And we'll just kind of highlight this slightly, just barely lightly. Maybe a little bit more than that. Of course, some of that's going to get covered up. That's okay. Here we go. Right, I'm liking this better already. Okay, let's get the So originally it had a red and orange kind of color to it. So maybe we could, I don't really like the orange and yellow trees though, but I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's take some bright red. We're not going to make the tree bright. Well, we are going to kind of make the tree bright red, but not completely bright red. We're going to mix it up. All right, as always. Love mixing colors. If you're mixing colors, for a long time I didn't mix colors, and I don't know why. I just use stuff straight out of the tube almost all the time. And yeah, that was. I wish I'd stopped doing that earlier. Well, I still do it, but I mean, I mix it up mostly now. If you're wondering why I put this little plastic stuff on the end of my tubes of paint, it's because it keeps the threads clean. Okay, so I'm going to use that yellow that I have, and I'm going to use my oval brush. I'm going to start off with this red, and maybe let's put a little bit of alizarin crimson in here. Now, once I finish using up my alizarin crimson, I'm going to be moving to quinacridone magenta because it's a more permanent color, but it looks pretty much the same. I don't know how to explain how it's a little bit more red, but it is. Okay, so we're mixing this red, this bright red, and this magenta. And we'll start tapping these trees in. And I'm not going to round those trees off much because I've kind of learned since then that they don't look too good. All right, that looks good. Now, I think I won't clean the brush. I'll just pick up some of this yellow. This yellow. We'll see how this looks. I don't know how this will be. All right, that's good enough. Maybe a little bit right there. Okay, that's good. Okay, that was easy enough. All right, let's go to the cabin. We might roll this back up a little bit more here in a minute, but I'm going to go to angle brush and sienna and a little bit of white. Let's see how this looks. I'll add some dark to the edges. Okay, maybe I should have cleaned the brush off first. Add a little bit of dark to the edge. And then maybe some highlight for this. I'm going to keep using the same brush. I'm just going to clean it a couple times probably. I'm going to add some darker stuff right into that edge down this side. Come back with some straight magenta. Right after I just said I don't use paint out of the tube. We're going to use the paint right out of the tube. And I'm not going to worry too much about squaring this off because we got plenty of space there for. Okay, now comes a little bit of a tricky part. Getting these windows in with yellow over the top of that brown. But we'll see how we do here. So I'll go to this flat, if I can pull it out of the jar. I have too many flats. I need a bigger jar. All right, I don't have too many flats. I need a bigger jar. I'm sure Emily would agree with me on that. All right, so it's not going to stick. All right, so let's get a little bit of liquid white. Did I get any? Yeah. Let's see if we can make it stick. Let's see if we can make it stick. That looks pretty good. Now I'll switch back to the liner for just a second. For just a moment. If you're wondering about these brushes, these are Princeton Aspen brushes. I do like them. They're nice. I'm just gonna square the window just a little bit. Like that. There we go. All right. I said I wanted to add a chimney. So I don't want to do it, but let's use something smaller flat. It's also a Princeton brush. So let's add that. Let's just let's use this alizarin crimson. Yeah, let's try that. Why do I want alizarin crimson? Okay, with some brown. So we'll make it kind of a browny red. And we'll kind of insinuate it's like made of brick. Okay. The only thing about these small flats, man, they are tough to clean. It takes some work, but they'll come clean. And then I guess I'll use a filbert, my little filbert. We're going to put just a touch of paint on this. And then we're going to kind of try to rub it out a little bit. And then just kind of like that. All right. I think I would like it to come down just a touch. There we go. That's better. All right, and then let's kind of so again, just touching a little bit of paint. And I think I'm going to add just a touch of, and I mean the tiniest little touch of phthalo blue. I'm not sure that's phthalo blue on there. I think that's Prussian blue. So I'll tell you what, let's use cobalt blue instead of that. All right. I don't know if it's going to match or not. We'll just have to see. But let's just pick up just a teeniest little bit of that. And again. Okay, now my intent is to pull that around now with a flat. We'll see if that works. I think maybe I could use a little bit of this, a little bit of this. I'm just adding a little bit more of this blue back. That white diluted the color a little bit. That'll help. And just kind of even this out. All right. Continue across the painting. Let's touch up the water lines just a little bit. I think they could stand to be a little bit brighter than they are. So I was supposed to have art in the fair this year, but they've decided that due to their plague, we're not going to have any exhibit. Well, we're going to have exhibitions, but there's not going to be any viewers. Not any exhibitors can exhibit, but people are not going to be allowed to come see it. Sound familiar? Sounds like Germany during World War II. Don't give me none of your stuff about yeah. My folks are from Germany, so don't give me that. Don't try to tell me. Okay, now we're just going to soften these out here a little bit. And soften this color. I'm going to leave that side a little bit dark. Okay. Maybe we could use another water line right in here. Here we go. We'll leave it to the viewer to figure out why that water line happens to come all the way across like that. All right. I got too many tools here. Let's put some things away. Again, let's deal with my ADD. All right. Let's clean this knife. Put it away. Okay. So let's work with, let's move this forward a little bit, and let's kind of work on this part. And let's go back to the yellow and kind of work on that some. And a little bit over here. That really should be all we need to do to that tree. All right, now let's talk about putting a waterfall in here. So maybe we should do that. I mean, it's a change from the painting, but you know, as long as we're here, right? Okay, so let's use that cobalt blue again. And the reason I'm using the cobalt blue is because I need some color underneath of the waterfall. So to make that waterfall shadow, so we're going to take some cobalt blue and kind of smush it in right around in here. Maybe like right about here. All right. Maybe pull it up a little bit. All right. We might end up sticking a rock in here or something too. I don't know. We'll see. Fan brush. Load up, brush up the paint. Pull this to the edge. And let's go. Yeah, okay, that's good. And kind of I'm going to do too much around that. All right, I think that's it, guys. That came out easier than I thought on that part. All right, well, there you are. Painting's changed. And we spent another probably an hour or so together. Hope you guys like this. And if you did, I hope you'll come back to the channel, like and subscribe. Beat this hater that keeps clicking without watching. I could appreciate it. Thank you guys.